Hello there boys and girls, Lucky here and welcome back to another CSGO video. Today I want to share with you guys my top 5 tips and tricks for AWPing in CSGO, and I would say let's get right into it. So our first tip has everything to do with crouching, crouch peeking and the speed you're moving at with the AWP, and that's especially useful for the pixel shot I will show you in a couple of seconds. So right now you can see me basically go through all the numbers while just having the AWP out. So that's basically walking, shift walking and crouch walking. Then we will repeat the same thing while being in scope with walking, shift walking and crouch walking, and after that I will show you a little thing that will actually help you make it better. So the important thing to notice here is basically the maximum momentum you can gain and the time it takes you to actually get there. And don't worry about the numbers, I will have a graph for you in a couple of seconds so you can compare them all side by side. So the thing now is, there's actually a little acceleration bug. So whenever you are crouched, you see we're kind of slow with 34-ish velocity right here. But as soon as you're shooting, you will start to accelerate immediately. So as you can see, it's about a little more than 100 milliseconds, 130 about-ish. And when you're doing that, you can actually then after that also get up to normal running again, and you will be faster than if you would have just started running normally. So when you're crouched and you're firing a shot and you're getting off the scope and you start running immediately, you will be, I think it takes about 450 milliseconds to actually gain full speed. And if you just start walking normally with the AWP out, it will actually take you 583 milliseconds, so that's actually faster. So every time you're crouch shooting and then start running away, you will be faster than you would normally be. This is especially useful for pixel shots. So right here I will show you a very far pixel shot with actually lots of pixels in between, but I hope it's enough to actually get the idea. So whenever you're here, you can now use a crouch position because you're covering both your sides and you're only minimizing yourself as a target, and you're actually making it harder for your enemy to hit you in the head. So in this scenario, the crouch shot, or better the pixel shot, is even more useful for crouch shotting. So keep that in mind. Next up, for the little continuation for our crouching, you can see right here, I'm basically jumping from side to side. And when you're jumping normally, you will kind of slide a little. However, right here, I'm just crouch jumping. And you can see, I'm kind of bouncing as soon as I'm landing. This means I will immediately stop. Not only will I immediately stop, but I will also bounce down, so I'm a lot harder to hit. So basically, when you crouch peek, you can just do it like this, and when you jump around the corner, you just scope as soon as you're in the air, and you can then get a cool crouch jump on. Usually some pros do this, like Kenny S and JW. I'll probably put a clip somewhere around here so you guys can actually check it out and see it in real action, not just against bots. Next up, where should you aim with the AWP? So as you can see right here, as soon as enemies are crouching, they're harder to hit because actually we want to go for the center of mass, so the torso area. However, as soon as the enemies are crouching, we're kind of aiming too high. A little trick that you can do is, especially once again when you're crouched, because then you're kind of on the same horizontal line always, you should always aim for about the height of the belt. So in a second we're just popping the bots back up again, so they're standing back up. You should always aim just above the height of the belt of the enemies, because if you're doing so, you will even still hit them in the shoulders, so still center of mass. When they're crouching, you won't have to adjust for the head or anything like this. The only real problem you will face with this is when someone's trying to jump over your crosshair and then you have to flick after him. But just in general, keep your crosshair just above head height, really at the stomach area, and you should still be able to get to the neck, head, and especially shoulder region to get a nice easy shot off. The next tip I can give you guys for getting better with the AWP is actually to fall back. The AWP is a very expensive weapon and you do not want to give it to the enemies. So whenever you have the chance, take a shot, kill the enemy, or even if you don't, just fall back to another safer position, just to switch up your positions in general to make you harder to hit, but also to make it a lot safer for you. You especially should combine this with a good sidearm. Whenever you're using the AWP, you should probably stay away from stuff like the Glock because they're not really doing lots of damage against armor. So I would highly recommend, for example, for the CT side right here, after you killed someone and you're not sure if someone's there, switch to your 5.7, shoot him in the head, and then once again fall back to a safer position to readjust your aim, to readjust your position, and to get them enemies from another angle. Last but not least, another tip I can give you guys is the double zoom, or better said, when to double zoom. So there are actually 2 zoom levels for the AWP, and usually you only want to double zoom if you're already set up at a position, like right here. You would be waiting for the cheese to actually come around, and you're kind of just reacting to it. Usually, you should always want to go with a single scope, however. Even in some scenarios, like right here when you're posted up for a double zoom scope, which makes it easier to hit the target back there, you would be missing this guy up here. I mean, you could be. This is especially common on Dust 2 when you're kind of trying to cover the mid area where you're actually a little closer right here. When you're right here looking at top of mid, then you could actually miss the guys down there. So double zoom is really kind of risky sometimes, so stay to single zoom most of the time. Last but not least, I can give you guys another tip, which would be wall banging. Of course, the AWP is very strong and actually does lots of damage through any kind of material. So especially on the boxes right here on Dust 2, you can still fire through. And if you're getting a headshot, you're able to kill them in one shot, which is also kind of nice. So I hope you enjoyed my 5 tips for improving your AWP gameplay in CSGO, and if you did, feel free to leave a like or subscribe to see more videos similar to this one. But thanks for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and Lucky Skill Faker out.